So why not go to San Antonio? Why go to the team that embarrasses you? I honestly, I think those guys, the 30 on Golden State, I think they roast him behind his back because they know that they clowned him coming back from 3-1 on his home in OKC. They went in there twice or once and embarrassed him. He didn't perform in the clutch in Game 6 or 7. And now all of a sudden, you know, here we come 2017, he does stuff he's never done his entire career. Oh, man. You wonder why he didn't do this in OKC.
Yeah. I mean, with the players that they have on this squad, you know, aside from KD leaving and going, what type of run do you think this team can go on with this stacked super team that they have?
I think they definitely would have been back in the finals, and you know it's tough to say if they would have won. I don't think they win without him because Cleveland, we all know it should have been tied 2-2 after Game 4. That was just mismanagement of clock by the Cavs. That was bad. I mean, that was just such a killer. And even though it's not over with LeBron till it's over, that shot by KD, I will give him credit for that because that was just, but that's killer instinct. And I don't understand why it took him so deep into his career to get that. I don't understand why he couldn't do that in OKC because he never once did that for the Thunder. So, I mean, it's a tough scenario. You know, you can play all the what-ifs, but I don't think they would win it without him. But we don't know who they would have got instead of him. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think with him coming, that just pushed it over the hill. That just pushed it to the next level. That it's almost impossible to defend them. The only thing that I think a team could do is if they have length, if they have a player that can guard KD on the perimeter, and if he's just running to the hole. So I think whatever the Cavs decide to do, they need to move wisely because bearing any type of injury, this team is prized to go on a run. So
yeah.
So let's switch gears. Let's switch gears over here to the Rangers. I was at the game last night. I will have to say, if you did not see the game or the people listening, if you did not see it, Tyson Ross threw pretty much a gem. He had 5 strikeouts pretty much early in the game. He ended up giving up, I think, 1 or 2 runs. But I'm excited what Tyson Ross is bringing to the table.
Yeah, that was a great performance for his first game. I don't think a lot of us thought. I mean, he had a no-hitter through 4.5 innings or something like that.
Right.
And just to see this team is really, really coming together. I know, you look at them and you see 511 games back, but I mean, Carlos Gomez back, Napoli back, Ross in the rotation. Hopefully no more Nick Martinez or anything like that.
Please.
He played awesome yesterday for his first start, and hopefully it can get even better. Hamill coming back soon. Belt's right back and hitting just like his normal self, like he didn't miss a third of the season. I don't know. I just have so much faith in them just because it's a team of veterans. And I mean, Odor starting to hit well. Gallo, I wish he would stop striking out as much, but he just seems to hit home run every other night. So I mean, I don't know. We've seen it before, rounding, and but at this point, even if you get a wild card spot, you're in contention. And I just thought the whole blow it up thing was just ridiculous because I think there is a lot of young players on the team, and I don't think you need to make a move like that, like a major move. I would still be a buyer at the deadline, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think if you look at the way Yu Darvish is pitching, I don't want to let him go. I was on the bandwagon, really saying trade him early in the season. I thought he was not going to be able to produce, but he's proven me otherwise. No, he's not the ace that we're wanting him to be, but when he pitches, there's a pretty good chance they're going to win. And I think you have to hold on to a guy like that for as long as possible. If he decides to not stay, then he decides to leave. But keep him on the team until he decides to go. And I think he's a great piece for this team. I mean, he's been here through the ups and the downs with his injuries, but he's proving that he's worth the money this year.
Yeah, and he really has a knack for getting out of bad situations. Bases loaded, one out. Giving up a home run. How can you respond to that? Get a locked shutdown inning to follow. And you're right. It does seem like every time he pitches, they're either going to win the game or it's going to be a close game. And even the bullpen is playing better. I know they had that one game to Houston that was pretty bad to watch after the fifth inning. But, sweeping the best team in the NL, taking 2 or 3 from the best team in baseball, both on the road, that just shows you that's not a team that's ready to sell. And I think you keep Lucroy and Chirinos. I love the 1-2 power punch. And Chirinos is really playing well, man.
He is. The home run he hit last night was amazing. When he gets playing time, he's proving that he should get the spot that he has, that he should be the backup catcher. Real quick, want to give a shout out to Team Broadcasting in the building, Togo, also Podcast Brothers and Vince Wright. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Vince Wright will be coming on the show a little bit later, talking Ward versus Kovalev. So, all right, so with Gallo, which you mentioned that, the dude's batting 199, but he's tied for third in homers in the AL. So are these homers worth it? I mean, who doesn't like a home run? But batting 199, is he an everyday player? Dude, should he continue being in the lineup every day?
I like Napoli, and I know a lot of people aren't Napoli fans, but Napoli can break out of a slump, and he'll get base hits and home runs. And Gallo, the home runs are great, but I would venture to say at least half of them, if not a little more, have came in games where it's already out of reach or the Rangers are already up by a certain amount of runs. I'm not saying, it's not his fault for hitting a home run when it doesn't matter, but, you really have to look at the timely home run. Do you want Gallo in the game, bases loaded, 1 out, bottom of the 9th, down by a run or 2? Do you want Gallo or do you want Napoli? And I have to give it to Napoli just because he might strike out, but Gallo is either going to strike out or it seems like just hit it, pop up, or home run. But with Napoli, you can see a base hit, you can see a double, you can see a walk-off. We've seen it a couple times this year from Napoli. So, it's tough because you don't want to take a young guy out of the lineup every day, but it's really tough. He's put himself in that situation batting below 200. That's not good.
Yeah, that's not really going to bring you a lot as far as if he doesn't hit a home run, that's it. You're going to basically get a strikeout. Yeah. So you're going to need more, especially if this team is going to make any type of run. You're going to need him to be able to produce, and it can't just be home runs. Even though that's exciting, even though he can probably lead the AL in home runs at the end of the day, you need more. And I think, Banny probably sees that as well.
And the reason I say Napoli's name is because I see so many people who want Gallo to be the everyday first baseman. And, the way I look at it is, like I said, bottom of the 9th, who do you want batting, Napoli or Gallo? I'm taking Napoli 9 times out of 10, man. That's just my opinion on that.
No, I agree. I totally agree right there. All right, so Profar came up this week. I believe he's probably like 0 for 7 or something since he's been up. Right now, to me, is a good time to trade Profar. Trade Jerickson Profar right now. We know he's not an everyday player in the big leagues. And maybe he needs a change of scenery. Maybe he needs a different coaching style. I don't know what it is, but it's just not flat out not working out. So,
yeah, the mistake was not trading him when he was playing extremely well. When it was that last year and the year before that. Now you just have to wonder what his value is. And I don't want to say I don't want to say next to nothing, but I don't think it's as good as, maybe he can be a key part in a package deal to get someone at the deadline if they're going to look for someone, but you just don't know because he has injury problems and he's been up for a couple games. I believe he has 1 hit or something, so it's just mistakes, mistake by JB. I think we've seen a couple of them, lately in the years past. I just don't know what his value is. I don't know what the market looks like for him right now.
Yeah. I think you would have to package him with someone else. That would have to be a package deal where you're sending, him and a pitcher probably for someone else. And I think you got to make the deal happen. I think at this point in time, you've got to make the deal happen. I don't think you can wait around and say maybe he has something left. Maybe he can contribute something because he just can't. It's just not a good situation.
Yeah, and depending on what's available at the deadline, if the Rangers are going to shop, you really do have to think about patching him with Gallo. I think that's necessary because of what we've seen. There's no sign to say that Gallo will ever be, even a 250 batter. There's no sign that he'll never not be a strikeout guy. So I do think you have to consider it just because the offense, I don't think the offense is the problem. I think we saw it in the playoffs last year that the offense can do it. I mean, losing 7-6, losing 10-5, 6-3. Those are so many runs given up. I don't think it's the offense. I think you at least have to consider it.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So Cole Hamels is going to be coming back. I think I mentioned that earlier. He had a rehab start with the Rough Riders last night. Seems to be it was a good outing. Carlos Gomez came back last night, hit that 3-run home run. So with those two guys coming back, what do you see for probably this next kind of half before we get to the All-Star break?
No, I know they have a tough road trip coming up. I believe it's Boston, New York, Cleveland, something like that. That's going to be a big one just because we saw the last road trip killed the 10-game win streak that they have. Now, fortunately, they put together that little win streak to get back to 500. But, I mean, this road trip, I know it's coming up fairly soon. If not, maybe I think it might start after this homestand with the Mariners, but you have to really try to split that. You have to try and go 4-5, 5-4. I mean, preferably, you just got to win a couple series, especially if Hamels comes back. I mean, you're looking at a Yu Darvish, Cole Hamels, and Tyson Ross, and I mean, there's just even Bivens, Dirk. Some of these guys have looked really good, and you just have to keep getting these outings. But it's going to be. I know it's not even the All-Star break, but you don't want to keep chasing the 500. It's time to, start winning 2 out of 3, getting 5 games over, 10 games over. It's time, man. We're 70 games in.
Yeah, it's time to get on that run that we need to get further along in this division. I mean, we're a lot of games stuck behind Houston, and it's not going to be easy to catch up with them. So we're going to have to go on a run. We're going to have to make sure we got some timely pitching, timely hitting. And
Houston is struggling really bad right now, and they have a lot of injuries pitchers that won't be back for another 2